Right, so I know that I've just recently put out a video encouraging you, and really more me, to check out the local area instead of making big long road trips. But I'm feeling like making a road trip. But hopefully you'll give me a pass on this one because I'm just going to Portland for the weekend. So this may not have been the best weekend to take a road trip. As you can see, it is a little snowy out there. So when I left Seattle area, it was kind of off and on rainy a little bit. And the farther south I've driven, the more the weather has changed. So I'm just outside of Olympia. Which is not very far from Seattle. So kind of contemplating what I should do, but I think I'm just going to carry on because it looks a little bit worse than what it actually is. The roads aren't really bad. I didn't make it too far. I was being rather optimistic about the road conditions, and they got quite a bit worse. So the freeway wasn't too bad, but it was getting worse visibility-wise, and it was getting a little slushy. So I decided to stop for the night. I made it just a little past Olympia to a little town called Tumwater. And as you can see, we got a little bit of snow out. So I think it was the right decision just to stop for the night. So I had a nice night's sleep. It was fairly quiet. I just picked a residential street a few blocks away from a Walmart here in the town of Tumwater, and it's now warming up. This side street looks a little worse than the main street out ahead of me, and so I'm figuring I'm probably good to get going again. So I guess the road trip is back on. All right, so part of the reason I came down to Portland was to meet people. So you probably already saw my interview of a YouTuber who was a city nomad, and I also decided to stop and see somebody that is just starting van life. So she's still in an apartment, but she's getting ready to move into a van. So I'm just going to introduce you and give a little brief tour of her van here. All right, so this is my new friend Trazer.
Hello.
And Trazer is not on YouTube, but yet, I should say yet, but she does have an Instagram channel. And what is your Instagram?
It's Trazers, so Trazer plural with a Z.
Okay, great. So I'll put a link to that down below.
Great, thanks.
So it's nice of you to invite me up, or I should say down. I always think I'm still in Southern California for some reason.
Yeah, thanks for coming down.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you're showing us your van, and you're not moved into it yet, but you have it kind of set up.
Yeah, right now it's more like my bedroom. So we live in a small one-bedroom apartment here in Portland. It's pretty expensive. So yeah, I have more of a bedroom type feel going on, but I'm going to put my kitchen area here and hope to move into it full time by, let's say, end of summer. So that's my goal.
Okay, so coming up quick, right?
Not too far. Yeah, I'm just trying to save the money to do the build in the way that it should be done and not haphazardly.
Right, okay, yeah. Well, just to let you know, none of us ever finish our builds. So it's always a work in progress.
That makes sense. Low pressure.
So do you intend to travel, can I ask?
Yeah, I'm working on a remote career right now, or another way to generate income so I can be on the road full time. I'll probably always come back to Portland as a home base. My friends and family all live here. But I think until I do the full-time van life deal, I'll be doing a lot of road trips. So I usually do that during the summer anyhow. So,
Okay. Yeah, great. Okay. Yeah. So you're used to taking road trips, so
Right.
even though you're not living in the van yet, it'll still be useful for you.
Yeah, I actually just split with my partner not too long ago, and we had 2 vans together. Well, at separate times, one van, and then we upgraded to a newer van, and this is even newer for me. So we were doing road trips and camping all summer for the last 5 years.
Oh.
And then before that, I was doing that myself too, in Volkswagens, Vanagon.
Oh, okay.
And
Right.
when my kids were little, that's what we did. So, yeah, so this is my own deal, and now I can do it how I want to do it, and it's kind of exciting.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm stoked about it.
Cool. So the van itself, can you tell us what kind of van it is?
Sure, it's a Chevy 3/4 ton. It's an extended, I believe it's around 19 feet. It has the wide wheelbase, which kind of feels more stable. My last van that I have with my ex felt like the ass was always like hanging over. It
Oh,
felt
right.
kinda weird.
Okay. Right.
But this is, yeah, it's great. It doesn't have a pop top, which I'm unsure of if that will be good or bad, but I kind of like the stealth camping deal, especially if I'm going to be in cities and
Right.
easier to drive. I can already parallel park it pretty well, which I'm proud of myself for. I've had it for about a month now, almost.
Okay,
So
all right.
I've only had one parking ticket, so that's
Oh
good.
no. So other than just the size of the van, which I think is cool,
Mm-hmm.
you do already have a fantastic fan, and you've got this enormous bed,
I know.
which is, did you say it was a queen size?
It woke up like this, actually.
It wa-
Yeah, no pripping. I think it's a queen. I just got some bedding from Value Village, and it works out fine. I think that if I even folded up the bench here, that I might even be able to sleep back there. Okay, but I have a giant dog, and he might smother me in my sleep, so I don't know if I'm gonna try it. But yeah, and it has a little table here that fits when the bench seats up,
Okay.
which
all
is
right.
cool. And I purchased this stuff, this little L seating, and I have another box here that could go between the passenger and driver's seat if we have more people hanging out in here. But there's a lot of storage in here, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep eyeing the storage space you have under your bed because it's
It's big.
just massive, yeah,
I
which is
know.
awesome. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I could probably organize it better. I just have a little bit of clothes here, but the rest of it's all my camping gear. And I put it in these Rubbermaid like tote deals without any lid, but I think I'm losing space with that, and I think I need to figure out a different way.
Right. Well, I mean, it's easy to access that way, I think. So
That's true, because it
yeah.
does go so far back. that
Right.
You kind of have to crawl in there
Right.
to pull stuff out.
Yeah. And it's a work in progress.
It
right?
is, definitely. Only had it a month, but I think I've done a lot since that. All it had was the toilet and this little bench.
So you have a toilet in your van.
I know.
That's pretty.
Again, it came like that.
That's pretty
so-
cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't used it. I hope to maybe not have to use it much
Right.
because I don't really want to deal with it, but it's
Right.
cool to have in case of emergencies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a cool van. Just set up already. So you got a great
Yeah.
base of a van to make your own.
It's true. It sounded like the guy that I bought it from, who unfortunately has since passed away. His son was selling it, and he was a weekender kayaker guy.
Oh,
so
okay.
he had it set up for his weekend trips, and it only had 118,000 miles on it. So that was really what I was stoked about.
Right.
I feel like I really want it to be mechanically sound,
Right.
and
Okay.
it seems to be pretty good.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for showing me your van. Thanks for inviting me down to Portland.
Yeah.
And you're going to take me and get a cup of coffee at a really good place. I don't know if you know, but I hate Starbucks. So
Me too.
So coffee time is where we're headed, and hopefully it'll live up to expectations.
It's
here, but-
great. It's great.
Thanks a lot, Tracer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, thanks,
there will be
Scott.
links to Tracer's Instagram if you're on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, and she's called My Vanna White.
Oh, your van's called My Vanna White. Okay. Very fitting. Very
Thanks.
fitting.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tracer.
Thanks.
And, we sat there and we talked and we talked and we talked a little bit more. And we talked so much and I was having such a good time, that I just really kind of forgot to film much more. So that kind of leaves me to fill in the details this way, kind of after the fact. So we then decided to get something to eat. So we went to a place called Moo Moo's, which was in walking distance. And the food there was really good. Well, I was really glad that I went ahead and pressed on through the bad weather to the start of the weekend and went down to Portland because I just really had a nice weekend. It's always fun getting to talk to other nomads and YouTubers, but this weekend was especially fun. And I just really want to thank Tracers for showing me around a little bit of Portland. I definitely need to get back to Portland a lot more. And now I know a couple of people, so that is that's a definite plus for me.